I'm Sadie Fitzpatrick, columnist with the Ocala Gazette, and your moderator for tonight's forum. We have a quick disclaimer for you. The Ocala Gazette and Neighborhood Storage are hosting the candidate forum as a public service. The views expressed by the candidates are their own, and their appearance at this event does not imply an endorsement or recommendation by either the Ocala Gazette or Neighborhood Storage. All right, we can move on. I want to give a special thank you to our sponsor for tonight's event, Neighborhood Storage, and to our hosts, Marion Theater, for hosting us at your gorgeous venue. Now, a few housekeeping items about how tonight's forum will be conducted. The questions asked tonight are a combination of questions developed by the Ocala Gazette editorial team and voter-submitted questions. They will touch on city policies, procedures, and the candidates' platforms. There will be no audience questions to the candidates. We ask that you refrain from loud cheering, clapping, or any outbursts until the question period is over. Seating and question order has been randomly decided by me. I will introduce each candidate and ask them to explain their qualifications. They will have 1 minute to do so. There will be 2 questions per candidate. Each candidate has 1 minute to answer each question. The forum will not be a debate, and the candidates should not interrupt each other or me. At the conclusion of the questioning, each candidate will be allowed 2 minutes to give a closing statement. Time limits for all comments will be strictly enforced. District 3, if you guys would like to come up, Mr. J. Musley and Mr. Ty Schlichter. As you know, District 3 has 3 people running, but we only have 2 people here tonight. Rusty Juergens and his wife, Sierra, are ill with COVID-19. He gave us a statement to read in his absence. Both Sierra and I are getting better every day. I am saddened that I will not be able to participate in the Gazette event. I thank you all for the opportunity. Please extend my gratitude and best wishes to all my fellow candidates that can participate. My hope is that everyone does what's needed to stay safe. Thank you to my fellow friends and citizens of our great city who took the time to learn about the issues. Together, we will make Ocala even stronger than it already is. I look forward to seeing everyone back on the campaign trail very soon. We wish Rusty and Sierra a speedy recovery. All right, gentlemen. I'm going to start with Ty. Go ahead and give yourself a little introduction. Let us know why you chose to run for City Council.
Thank you, Sadie. My name is Ty Schlichter, and I'm running for City Council District 3. Before we begin our discussions this evening, I wanted to share a little bit about myself and why I'm running. I'm a local business owner here in Ocala. I serve as Vice President and Chief Electrical Engineer at Central Florida Electric. I understand what it takes to run a small business, and I support our small businesses. I'm also a family man. I live in District 3 with my beautiful wife and my 4 beautiful daughters. I understand raising a family in today's Ocala. Ocala is presently at a turning point. We're seeing exponential growth in our area that we aren't prepared for, and we're seeing a lack of support of our local services like our first responders and our utility workers. This is evidenced by the significant employee retention problems the city is now reacting to. We're also entangled in an $80 million lawsuit that is the result of Council's failed leadership. It is because of these challenges and my commitment to this community that I'm running for City Council. We need change in our Council leadership to resolve these issues and obtain a better Ocala. Again, I'm Ty Schlichter running for City Council District 3, and I look forward to the discussions this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Ty. All right, we'll start with your questions. You're involved in construction and development. Would your company decline to bid on projects that have come before council? This is a 2-part question, so if you want to answer that first.
We are a subcontractor, so we don't actually bid to city contracts more often than not. And like Barry's company, we are also mostly private sector, so it would not be much of an overlap for us at all. If something were to come about, and even as a subcontractor, I would recuse myself from voting on that.
That is part of the question. How do you propose the public will be able to monitor whether you're receiving work from the developers in exchange for your approval of their projects?
Again, if I ever felt that there was an issue that I had conflict in, I would recuse myself.
Perfect. Your platform notes that you are focused on supporting the Ocala Police Department and Ocala Fire Rescue through competitive compensation packages to increase retention. By what means will you provide this compensation? Are you willing to raise taxes for this to occur?
I don't feel that we need to raise taxes to do that. There are many areas in the city's budget that we can find the necessary money to compensate the people that put their lives on the line for us every day. I believe they are undercompensated. In today's market, wages are increasing. The city needs to respond to maintain these employees. I would argue that by giving them raises and retaining our trained employees, we actually will be saving money in the long run. It's very, very expensive to train new first responders. It is much cheaper to actually retain them with competitive wages. There are areas of the budget that could be looked at and pruned to find the money that we need, and we need to prioritize our public safety above everything else.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Musley, if you'd like to give a little brief intro about yourself.
Okay. First off, Sadie, thank you very much, and the Ocala Gazette for having this evening, along with Neighborhood Storage. My name's Jay Musley. I was born and raised in Ocala, graduated from Forest High School and then the University of Florida. I have had a 43-year banking career. I have helped start a bank, organize a bank, and get a bank off the ground. That was Gateway Bank of Central Florida. I'm currently employed with South State Bank, which is the successor bank to Center State Bank. I, too, have a family here in Ocala with 2 grown children that live in Ocala, and then I have 2 grown children that live elsewhere. And then 5 of our 7 grandchildren are in Ocala within the city limits, and I think that ties me very well to the city. With that, I've been your city councilman for the past 9 years, almost 9.5 years, and prior to that, I served 16 years on our city code enforcement board. I would appreciate your support. I thank you for tonight.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to questions. This is a voter-submitted question. The City Council was informed by a concerned citizen, Dr. William Bill Cohen, at a City Council meeting in January 2014 that the fire assessment fee was a tax and as such was illegal to be included on the city utility bills. Why did the City Council wait so long to address this problem?
It's a good question. In 2014, that item on the utility bill had been on the utility bill for, I believe, about 5 years. It was enacted by a city council back in, I believe, 2008 as a fair and equitable way of distributing the cost of running the fire department and providing the excellent services that the fire department provides. In 2014, that was the first person who ever brought up a concern about the illegal tax. It was then, we then had a lawsuit filed against us. We actually won 3 times in the trial court level, and then 3 times were reversed at the DCA level, which is the District Court of Appeals over in Daytona. The last reversal remanded the thing back to the trial court for the establishment of a common fund. However, there's been no final judgment issued against the city of Ocala, and we anticipate a trial to determine damages, if any. Actually, all the funds that were collected via this user fee went to provide the services and pay salaries of our first responders and firefighters.
Thank you. Incentives are given to certain businesses by the city. How do you decide when giving these incentives is in the best interests of the city?
We look at it, our staff performs some calculations, and we look at what the incentive cost and then what is going to be the return to the city, both in monetary, i.e. increased taxes or increased services or some type of public benefit, and we then calculate a return on investment or ROI. and we're looking for that return on investment to be as high as possible so we get our bang for our buck. It's not a perfect system. We can always look to improve it other ways, but every city and every state is providing incentives to have businesses relocate to our community.
Thank you. All right, Ty, I'll turn to you for your closing statement.
Thank you. I want to thank everyone for their time this evening. As we close, I want to take this time to remind you of why you need to vote for Ty Schlichter for City Council District 3. These past 2 years have been difficult. The entire world is in uncharted waters, dealing with COVID, and to add to that, the incredible challenges that our city is facing locally. We are not prepared for the growth of our town has seen and will continue to see. We are not united as a city, and we are not supporting our first responders. And it's because of this we are losing these vital employees. Our city council leadership has failed us. We need strong, dedicated leaders in Ocala working for our city and our community. We need people who understand running a business, fighting for our small businesses. We need people who understand raising a family in today's world to protect Ocala's safety. I will remind you this evening, I am the only District 3 candidate that has the support and the endorsement of our local firefighters union and our local police officers union. We need change, and everyone here tonight needs to be a part of that change. On 9/21, we vote to change our council, and we vote to move Ocala forward. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Musley, your turn.
Thank you. I have been on City Council again for 9.5 years. Prior to that, I've had 16 years experience on the Code Enforcement Board. I think this leadership and expertise makes me uniquely qualified to continue to guide the city through these challenging times that we have ahead. I would say look around you. Have we experienced great growth? Yes. Have we had many wonderful things happen, particularly to our downtown area? Yes. Have our boundaries expanded? Yes. I think our method of growth has been good, where we've expanded mainly out on our western frontier in the southwest corridor. I think the next any annexations in the future would mainly be to solve enclave problems within the current city itself. I serve on the City of Ocala Investment Committee, also serve on the Marion County TPO, and also the TDC. That leadership, I think, would be invaluable in providing our impetus to continue to move forward with all the wonderful results we have. And I ask for your support again on September 21st. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, our District 3 candidates. Thank you, gentlemen. Now, I'll take District 3. So recently, personnel decisions have been discussed about the issue of whether it will provide greater transparency for city government if personnel decisions are discussed openly at public city council meetings. Do you think this is something that should start happening going forward? Why or why not?
Well, I think Jim brought up a good point. Obviously, you can't discuss personnel decisions at every level in front of an open chamber. It's just not practical and it's not necessary. And I don't even think at a high level it should necessarily be discussed on a day-to-day basis out in the chambers. When someone as high-ranking as the fire chief is terminated, there should be very clear rationale for why that happened. I think that's the issue that we're discussing here, really. There should be well documented, and then if there is a need for an inquiry later, that could be made public, but on a practical basis, no. Personnel decisions should not be discussed in the open air. There's private things that maybe doesn't need to be aired out in front of everyone else. So I would say no.
Thank you. All right, Jay, you've recently had this happen at city council meetings. Do you think personnel decisions should be discussed openly at council meetings to provide greater transparency to the public?
I'm all in favor of transparency, but personnel decisions at a lesser level, no, absolutely not. Should not be part of a discussion at all. With the fire chief, he was part of the executive management team. Their employment is at will. He was terminated by the city manager within her scope of what she is allowed to do as the city manager. Our city auditor came in, reviewed what happened, and it was found to be deemed a proper fire. There are many in the community that did not see it that way, and they've supported the chief, and they're not happy. I understand that, but we had an open discussion about it. There was a motion made to then turn right around and terminate the city manager, and it was seconded, and that vote failed. I did not vote for that and would not vote for it tomorrow or the next day or the day after.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it. All right, candidates, thank you so much for being here tonight and participating in tonight's event. Thank you to our sponsor, Neighborhood Storage, and to our host, Marion Theater. To our audience, thank you for attending tonight. Make sure to join us again right here on Wednesday night at 6 o'clock for our District 4 and Mayoral Candidate Forum. Most importantly, don't forget to get out and vote on September 21st. Mail-in ballots go out soon, so make sure you check your mail and get those filled out promptly. We will post the live stream of this event on our Facebook page. Make sure to follow the Ocala Gazette for all of our continued election coverage on social media, on our website, or pick up your copy of the Gazette at local retail locations. Thank you and drive safe.